Hi, I'm Trooper Smacka.
Hi, I'm Trooper Wellman,
Please stay tuned for a behind-the-scenes look at being a state trooper.
and together we can make a difference.
Here we are live with another edition of Trooper Talk. We have Trooper Wellman and Christina from the Nevada Donor Network here again. Tell us what the Nevada Donor Network is, and if we have any questions, what should we do?
Absolutely. So Nevada Donor Network is the federally designated OPO, or Organ Procurement Organization, for a majority of the state of Nevada. We are federally designated, meaning that we are here to do a job on behalf of our government, and that's to save and heal lives through organ, eye, and tissue donation. So we're honored to serve Nevadans, especially here in our valley, and to give them that gift and that hope that they can have after their loved one has unfortunately passed away, but has made that ultimate decision to be a hero and give that ultimate gift.
All right. So
Yeah.
there was a few different things here. We had videos and this and that, and this truck caught on fire, I think, because of a flat tire or something.
Yeah,
right?
we had the I-11 in mile marker. Was it 2? I thought it was a different mile. Anyway, I-11, we had it shut down for quite a few hours last week because a semi-truck was driving, got a flat tire, and continued to drive. It was like a moving semi-truck. So, like,
Yeah.
it was a family moving their house and stuff like that and their belongings. And that tire sparked, causing the trailer to catch fire. Everybody was okay. Nobody was injured. But that roadway was closed for quite a while because they had to put the fire out, and then they had to, their north and southbound was blocked just due to the smoke itself, like visibility. People couldn't see to drive. So it just took a while, but that was one of the photos I posted from the scene. But luckily nobody was injured, otherwise I would never post that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what happened.
And let's tell everybody that tractor trailers, the tires, sometimes come off like this,
Yeah.
right? And sometimes they're on the side of the road. You know what I mean? And all these type of
Those
things,
cause us some
don't
severe
travel
damage.
too close. You know what I'm saying? All those type of things. On top of which, don't cut them off,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, the reaction time to slow down such a heavy motor vehicle, just don't cut them off. And then also, yeah, if the tire's coming at you or there's a tire on the roadway, if you can safely move to avoid it, do so. But if you do strike it, you're probably going to need an accident report because those tires are heavy duty. Like, we don't even grab those barehanded to get them off the roadways. You have to glove up because they have little spikes in them because they're very heavy duty.
Yeah. So very tragic event, and I'm sure that devastation for the family.
Right.
You know
Exactly.
what I'm saying? I mean,
yeah, so if
that's
you,
their whole life.
if you get a flat tire, like check your trailer, because if I'm not mistaken, the driver did know he had a flat tire and it continued on. So if you can, just it's something that could happen if you don't stop and change it or
Right.
fix it so that it doesn't spark.
I'm sure United is not very happy right now. You know what I'm saying?
Can't read that.
This is the one where the guy shot or something.
Yeah, this is a North Las Vegas case. I don't know all the details on this. I just know that a vehicle it was from road rage that resulted in a vehicle getting struck by gunfire. Like, you just never know. We always talk about you never know what somebody has in their vehicle. You never know where their mental state is at. You don't know what their intentions are. So just always avoid it if you can. Exit the freeway, pull over, call 911 if you're ever in this situation, and we'll come to you. Get that vehicle off the roadway. We don't ever want it to escalate to this.
2 days ago, Metro came and they blocked off Jones and Flamingo. And so nobody knew what was going on. And the next day, it was because two people were screaming at each other. They got out of their car, got into a physical fight in the middle of Jones Boulevard, and one guy pulled out his gun, shot the guy. And then the guy who was shot drove himself to the hospital and died.
No,
Jeez.
you can't make it up.
And so,
Horrible.
road rage is horrible.
It's not worth
You
it.
know what I'm
No,
saying?
yeah.
And so I'm sure it happens a lot on the roadways, right, because of traffic. And we certainly know it happens on the highways.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because people are, in the left lane and, the guy's going 75. Well, somebody else wants to go faster.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Yeah, I had a very scary experience
Yeah, tell
not
us.
too long ago. I was leaving a friend's house in Henderson, and I was getting on from like Lake Mead, where it gets onto the 215 to go back into like Green Valley, and someone behind me just did not want to let over this woman, and they just, literally 30 feet behind me were just smashing cars, and then one car flipped, and I was like just watching this all in my rearview mirror, and I was like, I mean, and the look in the person's face was just so scary, and I'm like, all it took was just one person just stepping back and saying, you know what?
Take a breath.
Take a breath. This isn't worth it. And it caused a major accident. I immediately, got on the phone that I was able to when I was pulled over and
If
at
you're calling
home.
911, you're
Yes.
exempt. You're okay.
And I called because I just couldn't, I was like horrified, and I had to calm myself down because even just witnessing it was so scary. And, sometimes it takes seeing those types of moments, but it's just not worth your life because you need to be right in a situation, or you need to tell that person. I mean, it's just so scary.
Majority of those people are reacting out of emotion, and so they need to take a breath and take a step back, like you said, and just cool off, because if you react out of emotion, no good's going to come from that.
Yeah, and these, especially, this isn't two people getting in a fist fight, the guy, punching and you get a black eye and, that's the end of it. You know what I mean? This is somebody that's pulling out a firearm and shooting into a car.
And honestly, even using your vehicle and ramming
A vehicle is a weapon.
vehicle is
Yep.
a weapon.
A weapon
Absolutely.
Too, yeah. Horrible. Too fast Tesla.
So I think that's the Clark County School Police that posted that yesterday,
is.
because they always like to decorate their
That could be
cars.
Sergeant Campbell's Campbell's motorcycle.
Yeah, that was part of their joining forces.
So a Tesla certainly goes over the speed limit.
Yeah, I mean, majority of our cars go over 100 miles an hour. Doesn't mean we should be traveling at those speeds. And, a lot of our agencies right now we're having like a zero tolerance with these speeds. Anybody over a certain amount of, definitely over 100, we're just towing the cars, and you're getting a citation for reckless driving, because we don't want any fatalities on our roadways. People do not need to be traveling at speeds this fast, and enough is enough. And so that's why we're out, doing joining forces to slow these cars down, because 105 miles an hour.
Insane.
Right.
Like, what is... And you already know that we're pretty much going to get to the same exit at the same time if I'm going the speed
time.
limit and you're going 105.
Every time.
I don't know how it happens, but it always does, right?
Catch up.
So you're just like, someone's weaving in and out of the
It
lane.
doesn't matter if you don't
speeding.
have sound, right? Because the sound isn't what they're doing, because it's a Tesla. It's an electric car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't have to have a muffler.
Well, no one around you asked you to drive that speed. So now you're putting everyone else's lives in danger
That's
when you
right.
make that decision. And you could lose control and hit a car full of a family, which we've seen.
Yep.
Yes.
And it's
Kill
just
9.
literally,
Right.
I mean,
It's
it's
very
horrible.
selfish.
Very, very selfish.
very
And
selfish.
we don't want it.
Nope.
You know what I mean?
Zero
Slow
tolerance.
down. Leave 10 minutes early. Do
Yeah.
what you want. You know what I'm saying? And, don't put yourself into a situation to see, anybody. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Especially Sergeant Campbell, who's a very
And you-
nice guy. You know what I'm saying?
You can also see the orange construction cone. So this is a construction area with a vehicle traveling at 105 miles an hour. What if there's construction workers working up ahead? That could be your brother, my dad, her uncle, my aunt. Who knows? Like, people
Right.
out there working, and it's just like, for what?
Right.
It's just not worth it.
Not worth it at all. Not worth it at all. Slow down. Pedestrian safety.
So that's actually our initiative right now, is pedestrian safety and joining forces. It's going from April 11th through the 18th, if I'm not mistaken.
What does it tell us?
It's joining forces, and so that's what they're doing that whole week, is enforcing traffic safety with our pedestrian safety, is making sure that it's a two-way street, right? So pedestrians need to make sure that they're yielding to traffic and that they have the right-of-way before crossing the street and using a designated crosswalk, as well as our motoring public need to be aware of our, bicyclists as well as our walking pedestrians. So everybody needs to be responsible and look out for each other.
Yeah, on Flamingo, right, on Flamingo further down, past Decatur, between Decatur and like Arville or whatever that is, there's one of these crosswalks in the middle of the middle that is just by the blinking lights. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
so that people can walk, and all the time you're seeing, the person is like here and the car like this, and so if they're in the crosswalk, you need to stop, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
There's Sergeant
Chakowski.
right.
Yep, this was their motor
Look up.
competition.
Finally, he's on the camera, the picture.
Yeah, if he knew
Give a
you were
shout out
pointing
to
that
him.
out.
Hi, how's it going?
Yeah, he would not be happy if you were pointing that out.
Right.
He does not like the camera.
Yeah.
Yes, our motoring unit, our PSU, problem-solving unit, they went to Arizona to compete in a motor competition. That it was the 25th annual Southwest Policeman Motorcycle Training and Competition. and it was to benefit Special Olympics. And we did take third in the pair riding contest, where two of our units were strapped by one, like a Velcro strap, and they had to do the obstacle course together side by side without the strap coming undone. And so they took third in that. And I want to say maybe there was over 29 agencies that competed in this. It was a really good turnout, and it was awesome because it was to benefit the Special Olympics.
That's amazing.
Cool. Yep.
And you know, they're out there. They have the motorcycles. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
you know, motorcycles, when it comes to the freeways and also the regular, you know, sometimes they drive very fast.
Yep.
Right? And they cutting in and out of the traffic and all this type of stuff. But we always need to recognize people on the motorcycles for the safety.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To make sure. And so, yeah, every time I go out with them when they're doing the joining forces thing,
Yep.
They're there, you know, and so
That's their focus,
You know what I
is
mean?
to
It's
slow
very,
people
very
down.
important, and so shout out to all of them, and congratulations on winning, because
Yeah.
I can only imagine how difficult that must be.
It's very
You know
difficult.
what I'm saying? Like, you think about it, like, I don't know.
It's literally your other half. Like, you just
Right,
have to
you're
trust
like-
that they're going with you.
Yeah, that's very scary.
Oh, so this is also for benefiting the Special Olympics.
yes.
It's called the Tippecop, and what we do is we go to specific restaurants in the valley. This one happened to be at Big Bear Diner, at multiple locations throughout the valley, and it was like another combination between multiple agencies, from school police to Nevada State Police. And what they do is they just go around to the tables and promote that they're trying to raise money for the athletes so they can go to competition and compete. So it's just another way that we support our Special Olympics here in town.
And when it comes to the Nevada Donor Network, you know, one of the things that is very special is that, you know, you go to all these events, right? And so you're not trying to push your message. You're trying to explain if somebody comes over. Johnny's kids came over to the booth at the car show. You know what I mean? And it was a warm feeling.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And we believe in that partnership being both ways. We also want to support the way that they're touching our community as well. You know, the Nevada State Police, all branches of, you know, their team, we just want to be there when they're very passionate about something. We just want to be there to say, hey, we'll set up, we'll come and support, we'll share our message if anyone is interested in coming to speak about it. But really, it's just about us being a great partner in our community and giving back in any way that we can as well.
National Child Abuse Prevention Month.
Yes, this is our Northern Command. They went to a couple of the schools in the area. This is our Elko Wells area. And they just wanted to touch base with all the children, let them know that there's resources out there. You know, it's okay to talk to your teachers as well as law enforcement. If they were ever being abused and they're scared, they just gave them resources on how to basically become safe by talking to an adult. Maybe it doesn't mean that their parental person is the abuser. It could be a teacher, you know, or it could be somebody else. And so our troopers just went out there and just educated them and talked to them a little bit about those topics.
Yeah, and you know, when I was growing up, you know what I mean? It was always, you know, if you had a problem, you know, talk to a teacher, talk to a law enforcement officer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so the child abuse and child neglect and all these type of things is real.
Yeah.
Maybe they're not specifically watching Trooper Talk, but the thing is that maybe their brother is, or their sister is, or, you know, whatever it might be. And so the important thing is that if you feel like something is not right, that, you know, make a phone call. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, the law enforcement officers that are there, you know, they are there to protect us. And you know, to engage in a conversation, you know what I mean. It might be a very difficult conversation to have a little small child, but you know, at the end of the day, the important thing is that we're all in this together.
Absolutely.
And so, I one of the things that I wanted to recognize on this is another way that the troopers go out above and beyond to just talk.
Yeah.
And so, they need to get a hold of one of those kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so I think it's very important.
And then, you never know what ripples these sort of conversations can have on someone's life. Like, I still remember my DARE officer
I
who
knew you
would
were gonna
come,
say
and he was in Metro. And I mean, he would just literally in his uniform come play kickball with us. And like, we loved it. Like,
Yeah.
I still remember to this day, like, it's just, you never know what
Yeah,
heart
absolutely.
or life you can touch.
They have a lot of those popular TV shows with the officers, right? And so every once in a while, they'll show the officer go and he plays basketball, or you know what I mean? He goes over and just, and so and it's one of the things that's very important to me when it comes to the Trooper Talk is to know that if someone has a question that they can go up to someone. Like if you see Trooper Wellman, go up to her and say, "Oh, hi, how are you?" You know what I mean? Like it's not that you can't talk to her.
Yeah.
And so we want to open up and engage in those lines of
Yeah,
communication.
and as parents, like, share that. We always, with my fiance and I, our son, we always tell him to say when he sees a law enforcement, even the way that he refers to, we say, don't call them a cop, call them a police officer, because that's more respectful. Or like, one time we pulled up, because we live in Henderson, and we pulled up next to a Henderson police officer, and we put down his window in the back, because right now he does want to be a police officer. That's what he would like to do. And so he said, "Hi, I'm going to my soccer game," and like talked to him, and he was like, "Good job. I hope you score a goal, buddy." Like, I think as parents
Yes.
also, it's our responsibility to ensure. I think sometimes we lose that with the tablets and the cell phones, and sometimes we have a lot of that in our lives. And even during the pandemic, listen, we all had to do it. Like, everything was electronics based. But I think sometimes it's just human kindness and leading by example and sharing with them how you feel too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I think it's great.
Starts
You know
from
what I'm
youth.
saying? And that's why when Trooper Wellman brought the family over to the car show, you know what I'm saying? Like, to see the human side, like it's just it's so important to get the full understanding of everyone. So yeah, this is great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Be careful while driving in these high winds.
Yeah.
All right, let's see
I
this video.
experienced this today.
A couple months ago it was on the I-11 when we had a dust storm, and when we have high winds, it's called a brownout, and like what that means is you cannot see. Like, that's what it looks like, the visibility. And if you can't see driving like that, you should not be driving.
Yeah, no.
Because you can't see that there's hazard lights up ahead. Even if you pull over to the shoulder to wait it out, people can't see your
I was
lights.
just gonna ask you. So what do you do?
So if you can, don't drive in the first place. If you can, turn around and go the opposite way to get away from this, get out of it. Or if you have to, to ride it out, if there is a shoulder, try. But, ultimately, decrease your speed.
Like, can you drive?
Turn your hazard lights on, yeah.
I mean, you can't drive in the middle between the two, like to get out of the road, right? I mean, it's not. I'm touching the mic, sorry. Right, to get out of the road, so it's illegal, right? And like I'm
Oh, you
saying,
mean through
like
the
to go
median?
like over here, so, like what I'm saying is there's nowhere to go, right?
There's usually turnouts, but it
like if
depends
you're
on
on
where
the
you're
freeway,
at.
what do? Just get over to the side if you see that. And
If
just
you're
stop.
on you mean like in town freeway,
like if you were like on the freeway,
I would just exit as soon as
Just
possible.
exit as soon as
I'd
possible.
get off the freeway because
maybe you can see it further on down the road.
I'll tell you a prime example or like firsthand experience. One time I got caught in a snowstorm driving to California, and I was on the IR-15 going southbound, and I had never experienced that, and so I got stuck and I didn't know what to do. Do I keep continuing on? Because I couldn't turn back like what you're saying.
Yeah.
If I turn back, I'm still in a storm. If I continue on, maybe I can get through it. And I was terrified. And I just kept looking at those lane lines, and it was nighttime. So I had my lights on, and I just kept trying to find the lane line, and I'm trying to watch for lights up ahead.
Yeah.
But them semi-trucks, they're used to driving in weather like that. And, everybody has different, years of experience. Everybody has different experience with driving. I'm just not super familiar with the snow because I was born and raised in Las Vegas as well. And so these semi-trucks are going by me, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like this is crazy because I'm literally going like 10 miles an hour, which is also dangerous because if a semi-truck or anybody's coming up behind me going, I'm supposed to be going 65 and I'm going 10. So it's very stressful.
Yeah.
It's very stressful and scary. So just try not to put yourself in that situation.
Look at the weather,
Yes,
right?
check
Yeah.
If you're not feeling well, remember we talk about the medical episodes. We had
Yes.
a couple medical episodes, right?
Yeah.
If you're not feeling well, don't get on the road. You know what I mean? And if
Yeah.
you certainly see this, like, it says wind advisory, that's not a day to go on a joyride.
Yeah.
No.
Well, did you have fun? We had a very enlightening thing, Johnny. You did good today. All right. Christina, thanks again. Tell everybody about the Nevada Donor Network. Tell us how to get a hold of you and all that type of stuff one more time.
Yes, so Nevada Donor Network thanks you once again, Neil, for allowing us to come on here and have an awesome trooper talk. But if you'd like to learn more about our cause and just continue to kind of dive deeper into your knowledge and understanding about organ, eye, and tissue donation, just head to nvdonor.org. You can see all of our resources, just more about some of those common myths and misconceptions, and just learn more, as well as get registered if you're ready to make that decision. If you're on social media, we're on Facebook at Nevada Donor Network and Instagram at NVDonor, and you can follow us for some very inspiring stories from locals and people who are just like you and I, who have given this ultimate gift or who have gone through and needed that ultimate gift. And then, of course, any other events and things like that that we have. So thank you so much for having us.
Yeah,
We
great.
truly appreciate it.
Christina, Trooper Wellman, thank you. We'll
Thank
wave at
you.
everybody, okay?
Thank
All right, see you later.
you.